Finding your own individuality. Hello and welcome back to today's video. In this video we're going to look at finding your own individuality. So if you like it, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment down below. Going on this journey of finding your own individuality can be one of the most liberating things that you can do, but it can also be one of the most frustrating things that you can do. And above it all, what it really takes is a lot of courage. Especially or even more so if you are in an environment that doesn't encourage that. What do I even mean by finding your own individuality? Finding out what your life looks like exactly for you and no one else. What are some of the challenges when it comes to discover your own individuality? One definitely is if you are in an environment that does not encourage you to find that. If your family or friends or society that you live in has a certain way of thinking, a certain way of doing things, and is very opposed on having it done differently. This can be one of the hardest challenges because by nature we want to belong. This is also why I said that having courage is one of the biggest things required in this endeavor. My personal experience with this was, even though I had a very supportive social group around me, like family and friends, at the same time, they never really understood what I meant. Everything around me was like, it doesn't exist, it's not possible. So trying to find my own way and my own individuality was quite challenging because I was talking to my social group, like family and friends, and trying to explain what I feel and what I wanted. And the answers that came back always were not really helpful, and not because they were trying to diminish me, but because they didn't really understand what I was talking about. As an example, one of my biggest desires has always been that I wanted to enjoy the way I earn my income. I had a lot of conversation, for example, with my mom, where I tried to explain to her, like, not being able to enjoy what I do to me feels like being dead inside. And she just couldn't understand, and she saw the pain, she saw the frustration, but she couldn't really help me because she didn't have that desire inside of her. For example, she was like, can you just do your job, make your income, and then in the evenings and on your time off, do what you really enjoy? And I couldn't. It's just like, I just couldn't. It just felt so wrong inside. But she, on the other hand, couldn't understand it because she was like, I don't really care if it's not my big passion, what I do for an income or for a living. I'm totally okay with earning my money, going home and living my life. But I wasn't. She was trying to give me her best advice and be like, don't take work so serious. Just kind of put a screen between you and work and see it as two different parts of yourself. And for me, it just didn't work. So one of the things that happened, even with all those well-meant advices, was it created like a split within myself. There was this feeling of something being wrong with me, or that I had to fix something inside of myself so I could just accept work for what it was, a way to create income, and then on the side living the life that I wanted to live and enjoy it the way I wanted to enjoy it. Being in an environment that doesn't really understand you can be so challenging because they quite literally don't understand you, and not because they don't want to, but because they're living in a different reality. If I would describe it in a different way, it's like explaining to someone what a lion looks like and they've never seen a lion, and you're like, it's like a cat, but it's big, its fur is actually not as soft as a cat, it's actually quite rough, and they kind of understand it intellectually, but at the same time they don't because they never really experienced it. So if you ever experience something like that, don't be too harsh on those other people. They do really mean well, but they just don't understand. And it's not because they're not as intelligent or anything like that, or because you are better as them. Absolutely not. It's just a different reality, and neither of them is better or worse. Another aspect to consider when it comes about finding your own individuality is the balance between the self and society. How can you live out your individuality that feels really right to you, but you still fit in? Because as I said at the beginning, we still want to belong. Like, at a certain degree, it is about finding the social group that you resonate with, but at the same time, we are a society and we are a working system. So how can you fit yourself into that system that works in a collective but also in an individual sense? One way to do this, thinking about the question, how does it benefit others? Another thing that I think is really, really important is the aspect of not doing harm. So I do believe in individuality and you have every right to go for it, but I also believe it doesn't have to come, or it shouldn't come, at the expense of someone else. And I think the difference here is to understand the difference between when is it you and when is it them. Like if you do something, let's say you're gonna go to move to another country because you really want to do that, and your parents don't approve of them and are hurt by them and feel like you've left them behind. You're not doing that to harm them, but to stay true to who you are. And the fact that they are getting hurt by that has nothing to do with you, but it has to do with them. It's something that they have to work through and not you. It's some pain that they haven't dissolved and need to work with. So this is it about the video and individuality, finding your own individuality and how it can come in different shapes and forms, some of the challenges, and what it's really about. It's really about being true to yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do you like it? Give a comment down below and subscribe. I see you in the next one.